Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Wallace and I am a junior on the Westminster Thinks Big committee. Our next speaker is my fellow student and friend, Maggie Regier. Maggie Regier is a senior at Westminster and currently serves as the ASW student body president. She has been able to design her own degree in community health and leadership. This custom major combines theater management as well as public health to take a holistic approach to community advocacy. Maggie is passionate about promoting sexual and reproductive health as well as uplifting gender marginalized voices on stage. Audiences, please help me welcome Maggie Regier.
Hi, everyone. What a beautiful crowd. You're making this really easy for me right now, so thank you. I'm here to argue that the arts belong at the core of what we do and what we fight for. You see, the arts have always been a meaningful part of my life. As a child, my mom would take my brother and I to every arts camp she could. We did crafts at every holiday. This summer before my first year of middle school, I went to drama camp and I fell in love. Big surprise to everyone who always called me a drama queen. I had been bitten by the acting bug, and luckily I had super supportive parents and that they let me spiral down into my 10-year plan in which I would move to LA and become a professional actress. It's not the plan anymore, just in case you were wondering. My plans changed here and there, but I always knew I wanted to act, to make art on stage, and to move people in a way that nothing else can. You see, live theater is nothing but pure magic. To watch two people bare their souls to each other on stage, or to watch monkeys literally flying around a smoky stage is unlike any other art form you can experience. Throughout this, I always knew it was about the bigger picture. Many of my peers were either in drama just to have fun and leave, or they only ever wanted to act for their own personal reasons. But to me, it was about so much more. I saw how learning drama changed the people around me. I saw the impact of a room full of people being brought to tears over a story and a life that they had never heard of before. I always knew I wanted art to be accessible, to be used as a tool to bring communities together and to help shape the change I wished to see in the world. So fast forward a couple years, I'm in college and I'm taking a public health class on a whim so I can get enough credits. Little did I know this would light that same fire in me that I had once held only for theater. So I designed a degree to bring them together. Now, when I tell people about this, they go, "Oh, that's so cool," but I don't get it. How do those two, how do they fit together? That doesn't make any sense. It's simple, I always say. To me, they're about the same thing. Because you see, what inspires me about the arts, accessibility, community building, and creating social change, is all at the core of what inspires me about public health. When done correctly, both the arts and public health are used as tools to help people live their best lives, to address social, emotional, physical, and intellectual health. So let's talk about public health for a second. The core concepts that have attracted me to the field are health disparities and the social determinants of health. In short, health disparities are the fact that marginalized populations experience lower rates of overall health. But this isn't because of a skin color, identity, or gender. It is the result of the social determinants of health: economic stability, social and community context, neighborhood and environment, healthcare, and education. There are barriers to health that are outside of an individual's control. There are social environments, cultural norms, public policies. Let's just think about the recent conversations about conversion therapy right here in Utah. This horrible practice deeply impacts an individual's mental and physical well-being. It's not a result of the child being LGBT, it's a result of their parents having put them in the therapy. Another great example is maternal mortality. In the United States, Black birthing persons die 4 times more often than white people in labor. And this is often a result of racism and discrimination that can cause stress, and stress has a major impact on the body, which can result in poor health outcomes. In public health, a big part of our work is about breaking down these barriers so we can prevent those poor health outcomes. It's about looking at the whole picture to where someone comes from, or to use a theater phrase, connecting with your other. So when I think about the intersection of health and the arts, I go back to a conversation I had with my Aunt Virginia at a family Christmas party. She comes up to me and she says, "Maggie, I had a revelation." And now I'm a little bit terrified. My Aunt Virginia is incredibly intelligent, and I'm preparing to keep up with her. But she starts to tell me the story of her daughter's pregnancy, and my fears subside. She talks about sitting in the room and looking up at the walls, and they were covered in this beautiful art from a local female artist, and the room was warm and inviting. It was a stark contrast to the many cold and sterile clinic rooms she had been in before. In this moment, she comes to her revelation. "I always thought the arts were frivolous," she says, "that they were the icing on the cake. But in that moment, I realized they are the whole damn cake." So that's what I'm here to argue, that the arts are, in fact, the whole damn cake. They aren't to be added on the end for color and frills, but rather be integrated from the very beginning. I argue that arts access belongs in the social determinants of health. So individual impact of the arts is something I've seen around me my entire life. I have seen the shy kid in the corner who was too afraid to raise his hand take a drama class and come out owning his power. I have seen the student who had no interest or reason to go to school sign up for band and see their whole world change. I have seen people with Parkinson's disease finally feel at home moving in their bodies after taking a dance class. That's powerful stuff. But of course, you don't have to just take it from me. Americans for the Arts, which is one of my favorite organizations, collected some data about this power. Who said artsy people can't be good at math? 73% of the population agree that the arts provide a positive experience in the troubled world. K through 12 students have improved academic performance when engaged in the arts, even when you account for socioeconomic status. This shows up when 72% of business leaders say creativity is of high importance when hiring. This means that arts engagement is very likely to improve mental well-being, academic performance, and job opportunities. That all sounds pretty compelling to me. The arts also have a major community impact. Let's just look at the numbers. The arts and culture sector is a $430 billion industry, which makes up 4.2% of the nation's GDP, a larger share of the economy than transportation, tourism, and agriculture. High concentration of arts in the city leads to higher civic engagement, improved child welfare, and lower poverty rates. All that is great. But what I really want to talk about is my friend Alvaro. Alvaro is a senior theater major here at Westminster and one of the most passionate people I know. He has the biggest heart. And Alvaro is bilingual. He's always wanted to work with Latinx students, so this year he decided he would go back to his high school and create an all-Spanish-speaking Shakespeare team. He picked his play and translated it from Old English into Spanish while keeping the iambic pentameter. He trained his students and sent them off to competition. Now, Shakespeare is difficult for me, and I'm a native English speaker and a theater person. What Alvaro did with these students was break down barriers to something that may have otherwise been inaccessible, to do it in a way that was authentic to who they are and to their experience. Stories are powerful. This summer, I had the opportunity to produce a one-woman show entitled Love, Anne. This is a true story about motherhood and addiction, and it's written by her son and one of my best friends. During one of the performances, we had 12 people who were enrolled in a recovery center in the audience. And I was standing in the back sweating with nerves the entire time because I didn't know how they were going to react or how I was going to offend them, if the play was appropriate. But they came up to us at the end, and they hugged us and said, "Thank you." They finally felt seen and heard. Someone was finally telling their story, all the complex parts of it. That is so powerful. For someone to connect on a deep, personal level, and also to move people who might not otherwise understand what it's like to be in someone else's shoes. Now, all that being said, the arts experience their very own version of health disparities. Arts of prestige have largely been a sport of the rich and white. There are gaps in who is making money in art. There are less women, less people of color, less indigenous experiences, less trans folks. The list goes on. Many artistic events have a price barrier and may require certain socioeconomic status in order to attend. A student may be less likely to audition for a play or join the band because they need a job in order to support their family or to pay for college. But this isn't reflective of our country and of the stories that need telling. So do not fear. There is good work happening. For example, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland, Oregon, their acting company is 60% people of color, and every year they select new works that reflect the diverse multicultural experiences of people all over the world. Right here in Utah, Ann Other Theater Company is producing female and queer-driven works and tackling subjects that are taboo, or taboo for Provo, Utah, anyways. The Commonwealth Center of South Salt Lake is bringing music, theater, and dance classes to refugees and low-income students. So put your kids in a drama class. When the legislative session hits, get involved with the Utah Cultural Alliance and lobby for arts funding in our schools. Support local independent artists like Plan B Theater Company and Reiger Woodbury Dance Company. Now, I wouldn't be a good student body president if I also didn't mention the Gilmore expansion. The expansion to this very building is going to provide some much-needed resources for our very hardworking performing arts students. So if you're interested in getting involved, you can check out the website. Involvement in the arts impacts the way that we navigate the world. Our life circumstances impact our mental and physical well-being. Arts access is one of those circumstances. When people are involved in the arts, especially from a young age, it is going to impact our health, both as individuals and as a community. They bring us together, they challenge us intellectually, and they allow us to flourish and grow. This is going to improve our immunity, decrease our depression, and improve our cognitive skills. The arts are the whole damn cake. Thank you.